Hi, I'm Mark again, coming to you from the Musk Ox Farm here in Palmer. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. This is Diane Rose. Diane was here actually the year before the first Mother's Day open house and spent the next little bit more than a decade working here at the farm. So had a lot of good history and perspective. So invited her down to talk to you about Mother's Day past and as it developed and how it went. So thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
Well, so you were here in 1987, right?
Yep, my first year was 87. Yep.
So then to be clear, that was just the 1 year after we moved onto this property. So everything was new and just kind of coming together at that point.
Yep, tourism was just getting developed. The barn was just getting remodeled so that it could be used for tours, and the staff was very little, and it was all new to the whole valley, having a Musk Ox Farm as a place to visit.
That's just amazing. So what even just brought you here that first year?
Well, I was in college in Anchorage, and I was studying travel industry management, and
Really?
this job was a summer job in my hometown, so I applied for it.
Yeah, tourism was kind of almost new at that point. There was, you think, just a fraction of the options for people who are visiting the state back then.
Yeah, it was more of a bigger deal than just little things like this, and this was something unique, so we were getting it going.
That's incredible. So the barn was being renovated. Of course, that was the old barn before we took everything down and put it all back together again. And at that point, it was just still coming out of being a working barn, wasn't it?
Yes, the first year when I wasn't here, there was even some working stalls that were still in the barn during their first season, and then when I got here, it was kind of getting reworked. Yeah.
So had it been most recently dairy, or I thought there was pigs in here at one point.
I knew it as dairy.
Okay.
There was some of those the troughs in the concrete floor where
Right.
it had to be covered with plywood, so we had even as possible
Right.
ramps to get it set up for ADA and stuff like that. But yeah, it was definitely a working barn.
Oh my gosh. Well, and it was like that until we brought this new building into the space, because same thing, was the uneven floors, the plywood over the troughs, and big cracks in the concrete that were exposing
Yes.
everything. Wow. So you'd been here a year, and then it was just a summer job at that point, or did you work year round?
It was a summer job, probably might have done some part-time work in the Anchorage office at Umingmak when they were kind of overseeing the tourism out here during the winter, just as an off-side thing. And then when I came back, I think it was the next year that I sort of moved up and got to be the tourism coordinator and eventually the tourism director. But yeah, it was a year or two, but it was a summer job to start.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how many people just got latched in for that one summer job or that one circumstance, and years later they find themselves still involved somehow.
Yeah, and I like I said, I still have fond memories of it. It was a good time, and I was here for over a decade, like you say, and I don't regret any of it. These animals are amazing.
When you stuck
tourism
around
is my
and
thing,
followed the farm, and
yes,
been a big
that's
part of it.
awesome. And this barn, wow.
yeah, no, I know. It's
This
been
whole place, look at this
incredible.
view.
I know.
Still good.
Still amazing. So you guys decided your second year, 1987. Yes.
Well, my first year, 87.
87. So 1988 would have been the first Mother's Day open house.
Yes, the first one was in this late winter, spring of 88. That idea was like, hey, we could have a thing with the opening, and we have the calves coming, and that could be our opening every year, and that was the event. And so we started getting entertainers and barbecue and all the events that would make it a full day for families to come out and enjoy Mother's Day at the Musk Ox Farm. And yeah, you guys this year will be what number?
Well, I guess if it was 88, then this would have been 32. And
Wow.
the first year that we're unfortunately have the doors closed.
Well, that's why we're doing it this way.
That is
We're
exactly.
still gonna bring it out there.
We will. And I was talking to someone earlier about our longest FOMO member, and she said, this can be just a slight little dip in the tradition, and we can get back to it, but it's great to be able to share some of these stories along the way, because this is stuff we can't do during a normal Mother's Day
Right.
open house. So Yeah, so 32 years. Goodness, I know that we have been seeing about probably 2,500 people a year come through the doors, and it's a busy day. People come throughout the day, and we have lots of entertainment and food and music, and it's always just been an incredible way to bring people in. I think one of the parts about it that just really means the most to me is when I meet people who come through and they came through as children, and then they came through with their own children, and in some cases their children are
brought their moms, and they're so excited that moms were free, and now they're free, and
just
exactly.
This multi-generational
really true.
stop through the farm. I guess a lot can happen in 32 years.
My children, my daughters have some good memories of it, and they always attended that event on Mother's Day. I was busy, crazy working, but always good memories of things of Musk Ox and the event. Just a good time.
That's incredible. So when you were, I wasn't around during the time. Like, tell me about just like day in the life. I mean, what was a tour like, and how were the programs being run, and it's kind of just a moment, it's a glimpse into what was going on back then.
It's funny. I can do that, and I'm thinking of a lot of it that I'm thinking about saying. You'll say, oh, it's kind of still like that. Oh, it's kind of, which is amazing because it's advanced, but yet the framework is still there. We had the barn, and we had the section where you come in, and the gift shop was set up in a much more rugged manner. Like the first, at least the first year, maybe even the second. When you walked in, you stepped into about 4 inches of wood chips.
No, was that an aesthetic thing, or was that just part of the just that functional?
It was not. I don't think it had any function other than sound, maybe, and aesthetics. Rustic. Everything was natural wood.
Step into the barn.
Yeah, raw cut lumber, and you're coming into a barn, and so it's sort of the same thing. There was a way if they wanted to take a tour, they started every 30 minutes on the hour and on the half, and you paid your admission, and then a tour guide would take you through the center of the barn. There was a single door, and then the tour would start in there, and then it would head on out, and we had the chutes basically set up like I'm seeing them now, and wherever there was animals that day, we'd take them to where they could see the best, and people loved the tours. They could stay as long as they wanted. If they wanted to stay out with a guide afterward and go with the next one, it was okay, and it was very casual, but I think the numbers are what the biggest thing has changed. You were saying 2,500 for Mother's Day. I think we had 800 on our first Mother's Day, and we thought that was phenomenal. So I think the tourism numbers have continued to grow, and I think it's been a very vital part of tourism in Palmer.
Well, it's really interesting. So we were talking earlier about that iconic moment, and I thought in 1999, you were thinking in 94 when Alex Trebek was here and Good Morning America, and there was that, and you were in part of that shot, right? From Palmer, Alaska, Good Morning America.
I don't know if I was. I don't know if I remember that.
I thought I did remember you being in a photo and all of you guys waving.
Maybe so. I'm not sure.
So at any rate, the reason I guess, I don't know why I had it so tied to 99, but I do know that was the summer that we had our highest numbers ever, which was around 33,000 people came through the farm that year.
That sounds
and that's significantly higher than where we are. And, there's only 3 networks in the country at the time, and there wasn't a lot of infrastructure for people who were visiting. So it kind of came to reason that that's when that happened. But boy, that was a huge moment.
Yeah, 99 was my last summer, because I went on to do other tourism things, but so that was still the highest. You're saying
that's what I believe. And the records aren't perfect. There's a lot of people and a lot of different systems going on. But
interesting. It was that's how that's how the word gets out. Before the internet,
right? That was our viral moment for sure. So farm, I know we've moved into a lot of different events, and I know Mother's Day was a big event where you guys did a lot of events too to try to bring people in. I think, I don't know at what point some of these things happen. I know there was a barn dance and a Sadie Hawkins, I think, at one point,
and the running of the bulls started back a ways. I don't know how far back, but
I think around 2002 was that one.
Yeah, so it came right after, and we actually didn't hold as many events as you guys have evolved into, which is awesome, because I think with trying to manage learning how to be a tourist attraction, we had the staff for that, and it kept us plenty busy with what we had, and that whole development of branching out came down the road. I think we just, let's get the tourism thing going and get it going right for
right
this
out of
first,
the ground. Yeah.
I'm gonna say at least half. You know, I don't remember, like you say, a barn dance, some barbecues. We'd have a lot of staff things with close friends, maybe friends of the Musk Ox, lots of volunteers.
Right.
Would have picnics or stuff. But yeah, these events that you guys have done since is really awesome. But I think we were concentrating on, let's learn this, and then we'll go from there.
Right. And you were saying you've had, especially you were mentioning earlier, starting a tour and some of the celebrity moments you had here. Who all did you meet coming through here?
Well, mentioning a couple of given tours to governors of Alaska, Governor Cooper. We had Cloris Leachman, I think maybe visited once, maybe more than once. Ernest Borgnine, and some of you younger folk might not know who these all are, but
he's a hero for us.
Yeah, Ernest Borgnine, he was totally not even. He just walked in and we start whispering, hey, is that somebody? And then he confessed. And then some of them, were more like, hey, George Foreman's coming out today, and can you guys do a special thing? And we do that. So we did meet some fun people. Penn and Teller did some funny magical things with Musk Ox at one time.
What if we could pull that up somewhere?
Possibly.
I remember hearing about it when they were here, but I wasn't on the farm then.
Yeah, and Alex Trebek, of course, was a fan from way back, and he visited several times, and different people. And I'm sure there's more, but those are the ones that are coming to the top right now.
Oh my gosh, I know. Well, again, I think back when there was just so little, infrastructure in Alaska. I mean, now there's just so much more to do for people, and we're certainly, people have a lot of options, which is great for visitors to the state, but it also, there's a dilution. And so, I think a lot of those people were, a lot more came through the doors, probably with some frequency there.
Yeah, the milepost was a big way of advertising for people driving the highway. A lot more people drove the highway. And then the bus tours, we had to work on that because it takes, even now, it takes 2 years or something before you can get on a bus route. By the time they're already planning ahead, and we had to get on the bus route and slowly earn that, favor that the people liked it, and that's to get in with those big groups. And we did, and if many of you have been here, the parking lot's still the same, and when we can only have so many buses at a time and so many people, and it was we had a good time with meeting a lot of people. A lot of tourists were interested in the Kiviute, and the gift shop could get very busy at times.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it carries on today. It's been this was such a heartbreaker to have this beautiful new building and just have such high expectations for this year, and here it sits. But it'll be here next year, and we'll be.
Maybe you can give a tour. Maybe you can give a virtual tour.
We're going to be doing a bunch of live events on Sunday. That'd be a fun idea to go through and show that and let people know. But it's been an incredible journey. This is just, there's so many amazing people, and I've always I look at the crew we have right now, couldn't be happier with the crew on the farm and on the ground right now. And yet today, as with forever, just always very different people and from very different backgrounds. So it's always interesting, the people that are drawn into this place. I think it starts with just the love of the animals and the love of the project, and it's just been an amazing thing to watch. So
a lot of people have passed through as students or interns, or we had a bunkhouse over there and a bunkhouse over there, and people were coming and going, and I think it's probably provided people a lasting education as well.
I think so too. And people come through that might have worked here in the 80s or in the 90s or in the O's, and the teens, and we're out of the teens now. So it's just amazing the number of people this has touched, interns, and just in the last several years, some of the interns that have come through and ended up moving on and going to vet school and launching careers, and so it's pretty amazing to have a little role in all that.
And coming back, like I said, I keep trying to steal a glance because I haven't been back in a while, but the animals are looking great.
They're doing good. Got 3 calves on the ground, and 1 more hopefully in the next couple days. And
awesome.
healthiest, happiest herd we might have ever had. So
if you haven't, I'm sure you're gonna in another chat with somebody or on the live thing. Facebook, follow on Facebook because you guys do a great job on Facebook.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been again part of the crew. Carrie's running all of our social media. She's done an amazing job with outreach and just opening the farm up to people who, especially right now, they can't come. So that's been really great.
Yeah, it's fun. I follow, like you say, I'm there.
Still involved.
Yep.
Much years later. Well,
Yep.
so am I. I showed up here in '95. I think it was the first time I came onto the property and got to know Lance. So.
Yeah, I remember when we met, and I wore my special old-fashioned name tag.
Right.
This is the name tags we used to have back for the first couple of seasons. Handmade in Palmer by a guy that did woodwork, and
wow.
And we had dug this out today. So
that's great. Yeah, I saw you got your coordinator pin too, and you're moving on up.
Then I got. Promoted, I guess you'd say, and so I have them both. But
that's amazing.
And an old ad about how we,
and that was for the
Mother's
fourth
Day
one, right?
Yeah, the 4th annual Mother's Day. We used to put ads in the paper. We used to have ads on the radio.
Still do.
We used to get the news would come out, and this was pretty much the standard ad. It may be similar, but the mom and the baby and all the events, and everybody really looked forward to it. And a lot of sponsors. I was looking down here, Wonder Bread. We got everything donated for the barbecue and everything. So
you guys launched one of the greatest traditions going on out here, and show us that picture there. This is Little Man. Oh my gosh, Little Man's turning 24 right about now. And there you are as a little young lassie, and your daughter's grown up with this project as well.
Little Man is how old now?
Turning 24.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a male out of their teens. So he is just, practicing about 150 in people years.
Might have to pay him a visit after this little
say
chat.
hello.
But anyway, we had this hung on the wall in our bed and breakfast for a long time, and the kids always, it was a gift for me when I left. So
that's
a special
fantastic.
picture.
Well, I am just so grateful for your time and coming down today and just sharing a little bit about some of your memories as this place launched. It's been through so much over the last 30 years on this property, and you're a huge part of the first third of it, really. And so
that's what I hate it's funny when you come over and some staff, you'll meet somebody and they go, "Oh, I've seen that name."
Right.
I've seen that name. Now I know you.
Now I know.
So yes, thanks for having me back. This is fun, and we'll be there hopefully next year, another Mother's Day in the live.
That sounds great. Well, again, thanks for coming. Happy Mother's Day, and
thank you.
Yeah, stick around.
Thank you. I will.